Hi, I'm Scimonetti, and on behalf of Theowani Mouthpieces and Pete Marriott Saxophones and Sax Rack Stands, I want to thank you guys for coming on in here and having a little discussion here about slap tonguing and what it is and how it's done. I'm going to attempt to explain what I think is the unexplainable, like how you do this. I've had people urge me to try to teach this technique, and so I'm gonna try to do it. So as you heard, it's that slappy noise, you know. Okay. So it's just an effect that we get out of the saxophone, much like growling and flutter tonguing and you know, dead tonguing, which is half tonguing and things like that. So it's just like another one of those little sonic things that we could fool around with and have fun with playing the saxophone. So now that I showed you what it is, let me see if I can explain this. You saxophone teachers will probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Like a lot of times people will tongue the saxophone incorrectly because the saxophone goes in the mouth straight as opposed to a clarinet, which is like this. And so clarinet guys usually don't have the problem of over tonguing. Instead of tonguing like that, they'll go. So I had a friend of mine in high school who used to do that all the time, and coincidentally that's how I actually learned how to slap tongue, because I used to make fun of the way he played. So my poor band teacher, I'd sit there. He had two of us guys actually doing that stuff. But I learned by doing that if you don't allow the air to pass through the saxophone so that the reed vibrates, you could actually make the reed slap. So what I'm doing is I'm not allowing the air to, I'm over tonguing. Now the way I do this, if you can imagine this ruler here as being the reed, and how I do this is I'll take my tongue like on the middle part of the reed, and I'll put it down like that, and I'll snap it back. I'll let the reed snap back up against the tip of the mouthpiece like this. Okay? Pow! And it just does that. I know what you're thinking. I'll break my reed. I've never broken a reed. And by the way, you could do this on synthetic reeds or cane reeds. You could do this with any kind of mouthpiece setup or anything like that. It just takes a little time to work, you know, much like all the rest of the techniques that you worked on your saxophone. So you could do this with any woodwind, by the way. In fact, I'll demonstrate it on the clarinet and the bass clarinet, and it gives a totally different sound. And while we're talking about the sound of this, I've noticed listening to guys that do this in saxophone quartets, guys that do this in jazz and things like that, they all sound different when they do this. So if you sound different from the way I sound, that might even be a good thing. But my point here is to just show you guys how it works like that, okay? And let me show you on the clarinet what it sounds like. So it just kind of makes a cool little sound like that. Okay, and let me do this on the bass clarinet, and this is like fun. Let me get my reed all. Okay. So it's just that little clicking sound there. Okay, well, that concludes my discussion. So I just hope you guys all have fun with the experimenting with the art of woodwinds and playing them. And thank you very much for listening.